Evening folks, this is BestInSlot and welcome back to Jurassic Park, or at least our rebuild of it in Jurassic World Evolution. We're going to try to get quite a few different exhibits done today. The Velociraptor Paddock, the Baryonyx Paddock for two examples. I'm teleporting some galleys over at the moment. I've been having a little look at some stuff and we're not going to do this quite yet today, but I'm going to put it to you guys as a question. So, in Jurassic Park, in the south end, according to the maps and stuff, that's where the Stegosaurus exhibit is. It's down here at the southern part of the enclosures. And there's no Stegosaurus in the game, but we could use a Troodon. That would be fine. That would kind of work. It's, you know, a similar looking dinosaur. That's not the issue. The problem is, there's also, in the south end, according to the novel, is where the... Is it according to the... I believe it's according to the novel, is where the Stegosaurus habitat is. It's like Stegosaurus Swamp or something like that. And that's also at the southern end of the map. Now, we're not going to get both in, because we've got the Gallimimus exhibit here. That's film accurate. I want to keep it like that. So the question is, I'm going to do one or the other, because we either follow the book or we follow the maps. Now, I'm personally leaning towards the maps because that's what we've been following so far. And the Stegosaurus is not listed on any of the maps for Jurassic Park. It's only mentioned in the novel. And I think if we start using too many canon sources... Oh, one sec. Bloody Nora. Then it's going to go a little bit mental. You know, it's going to be very hard to keep track of. Do I need a gate over there? Yeah. So, I'm going to leave this one more time. We've been talking about this for a while now, but one more time I'm going to leave it. The question is, do we do Stegosaurus, i.e. Troodon, down here at the southern edge, or do we do Stegosaurus? It's going to be one of the two. We're either going to use the maps, or we're going to use the novel. I'm leaning towards the Troodon, but I'm going to let you guys hammer that out in the comments down below. Now, the other thing we're going to do straight away today is actually we're going to do our Proceratosaurus exhibit. It was a planned dinosaur, probably meant to be in Phase 2 of Jurassic Park. Now, I don't have any numbers for how many there would have been, because they didn't actually ever breed them, we just had the embryos, but it's a smallish carnivore, so I think we can go for a fairly decent number. And I was thinking, because, you know, this dinosaur is one that never made it into the park, we never actually see it, we could, in theory, mix and match the colours and stuff like that. But every other dinosaur in Jurassic Park, the original at least, only comes in one colour, so I think to better recreate the film we should stick to one colour for the Proceratosaurus as well. The final thing I need to mention is the Parasaurolophus. People keep mentioning we should be using the other skin, the one from, I believe it's 1997D, one of the alternate skins for Isla Nublar for the Lost World Jurassic Park. The problem is that's a challenge mode skin, and I haven't unlocked it. That's all there is to it. I don't have the 3-4 hours I'd have to sit down to burn through challenge Jurassic mode at this point in time. What we might do before the end of this series, I did a thing in the past where I did like a really long recording of a challenge mode, because you guys got to see some tips and stuff like that. I really want to try challenge mode with the Jurassic Park era. I haven't actually given that a go, so I'm very curious as to how that would work. So what we might do is just do another big challenge mode video before the end of this series, and then we can replace the Parasaurolophuses with the ones that you guys are recommending. But that's the only reason they're not in quite yet. So we're going to leave this one blank at the bottom. I'm going to bring the Proceratosaurus into there. That's a fact. It needs a little bit of water, but other than that, we're pretty good. Let me just make this carry on a little bit more into there. It's all iffy, wibbly wobbly, but that's just because of the there's a track going through there. We should actually destroy that a little bit there. There you go, beautiful. You can see how the track crosses over in like a T shape right there. Right, so Proceratosaurus is going to go in there. We're also going to work on the Baryonyx, which is over here, and we're going to work on the Velociraptor, which is in here. Now, the Velociraptors are an interesting case. They were initially in the paddock. They mentioned this. Muldoon mentions it in the film that he'd seen the raptors running at full speed. You know, he goes on about, I can't remember, 50 to 60 miles an hour, I believe it is, when they're out in the open, and they had to take them out because the big one, you know, the chief, she kept getting them to test the fences. That's why they're actually in the pen. They're in that very contained pen in Jurassic Park, because they couldn't handle the paddock, because they were going to break out. That's also why, interestingly enough, the Velociraptor paddock doesn't actually connect. You'll see the tor goes right around it. It's the only one, the only paddock that is not connected in any way to the tor vehicles. And again, that's just because the raptors were doing so much damage, or, you know, they couldn't risk the raptors and the tor vehicles being together because, well, they thought people might die, basically. So that makes a lot of sense. How are we doing over here? Nearly done. Tell you what, we'll watch this Proceratosaurus pop out first of all. I think we're going to do 10 of these. There is a reason for that. Oh, they are kind of cute. It's been a while, buddy. You're not one of my favourite dinosaurs. I don't often make you, but I do really like that colourful little crest. I think that's very cool. They've got a weird little thing, the Proceratosaurus, in that they look... Oopsie daisy. They look... by the way, this filter is the best thing to ever happen to me. It's hard to explain just how easy it's made my life. But if you wanted a nice thumbnail, you just want to use the Proceratosaurus, your green screen, you bring... Oh, look at that! You could even get multiple levels and kind of stick it together. That would be perfect, yeah. Anyways... It's got this weird effect on it, that it looks slightly glittery, you know? There's a few dinosaurs that have that, it's weird. I think what it is there's multiple texture artists, and I think you can often pick out who has done which. I mean, I can't like put it to names or anything like that, but some dinosaurs have very similar skins. Like, some are kind of weirdly glittery, some are rubber looking, you know, like that. Some are just very good. I think there's quite a demonstrable difference. It's the same as that JPOG mod, DJE, where there's two skin makers very clearly, because one of them's amazing and one of them's a little bit... Speaking of JPOG, I just want to point this out. I'm very disappointed. AOG, Advanced Operation Genesis, this JPOG mod I was immensely excited for, have decided to shut down. It's not going to come out. It is like one of the two big mods I was very, very hyped for, so I'm a little bit disappointed. Oh well. Anyways, let's get those Proceratosaurus shifted over there. This tour's going to look awesome by the end, I'm just saying. We're going to do our Velociraptors. Oh yeah, the reason. So there were 8 Velociraptors in Jurassic Park originally. Now, whether those 8 survived to the end, whether the big one, you know, killed a few and stuff like that, so we know she did. I think she killed all but 3, was it? All but 3, all but 2? I can't remember the exact number. We're going to go for 8 because we're doing the park kind of how it's meant to be, if that makes sense. And there were 8 raptors in the paddock, and at the end of the day, they're not in the paddock in the film. You never see the paddock in the film, so... We do get mention of it in the novel. Of course, it gets mentioned as well that the babies are broken out. That does happen in the film. People still debate that. You know, when they find the little footprints and the eggs and stuff like that, that is meant to be a Velociraptor, believe me. I don't know why people argue that point. Is that all of them? Nope. Okay, knock that one out, and we're looking pretty good. Come on, little one. I'll tell you what, this guy's got pretty good aim. I say as he misses 2 shots in a row. Oh, was that a hit? Is that a hit? There we go. That's our first 5. Anyway, so there's 8 Velociraptors. I figured Proceratosaurus slightly smaller, still a small carnivore, but slightly smaller. We should have a few more in there. Plus 10 is a nice easy number to make. Right. Let's move on. We're going to go over here. We're going to work on the Baryonyx. Now, the first thing we need to do is actually delete this. We're going to do this bit by bit. And like I said, we'll just kind of do this episode by episode, so I don't have to spend bloody ages doing this. So we're just going to do that, and we're going to do that. There we go. Just trying to put our service road in. It's interesting that this is the Let me think about this. This is meant to be the Baryonyx exhibit, but the tour track goes right through, and we know that the I have to check my maps out, because we know that the tour track with all the other carnivores never goes through the habitat. It never goes directly through. It always curves around. So I think there would be a internal fence that maybe I'm missing. I think that would make a lot more sense. I'm actually going to use a third map. I'm using a lot of maps, but I'll show you why in a moment. So there's our... Yeah, that'll do. So I'm going to bring this one across. This is one of the more official ones, actually. Jurassic Park. And you can see the Baryonyx exhibit there. Now, it's in roughly the same place. It's actually outside of the tour track. But the interesting thing about it is, because it's just above the docks and where the river comes in, there's more water. We're by and large not using this map because it is, generally speaking, utter nonsense, if we're honest. But, oh God, this is what I mean. But anyways, the Baryonyx has a river coming in, and I think that makes a lot of sense. That isn't actually there on the other maps. So you can see here, this is our Baryonyx exhibit. that's the docks. That's where the water comes in. So I think what we might do is use that a little bit and just bring a river in here. Because it's a Baryonyx exhibit, it should have water. And it is mentioned, I believe, that the reason the Baryonyx exhibit is put in this place is because it was a naturally very, watery spot. Now, what I need to do is open up my other map. I need to make sure I have not missed an internal fence, or whether they really do just drive through the Baryonyx. Where the hell am I? There I am. I think a fence there, curving around there, would make a lot of sense. Yeah, there you go. You can actually just about see it. It's very. I didn't spot it when I last viewed this, but there is a very fine red line that curves right along there. There's no water there, but that doesn't. The Baryonyx actually has no access to water at all in that, which is obviously kind of nonsense. So we're gonna use the other map for this one, and this really is why you have to use multiple maps, because together maybe you'll get something moderately realistic, essentially. Maybe we'll get something like what Jurassic Park ideally would have been after the completion of, well, Phase 2, I guess. The Baryonyx was actually in the park, we just don't see it. Oh, no. Okay, I've got to remember. Delete. Yeah. Just got to get that angle. Oh, no. I right-clicked anyway, because I always do that. Just got to get this angle a little bit better, if possible. Let's come out a little bit. It's because it curves to the right. It's actually quite an awkward... Yeah, we go straight there, that's fine. Nope, gone a little bit too far. Come on, curvy. Nice, nice. You want to get as close as you can, but you can't go too close, or it simply stops working, essentially. Getting there. Looking sexy, looking sexy. That'll do. Alright, yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, so yeah, I'm just going to bring this in. Plus, it's going to look pretty cool on the right. Anyway, we'll have this service road. I think I might, again, keep as concrete on the outskirts. The exhibit ones are going to be dirt. The outskirts ones, I think, being concrete makes more sense. We're just going to bring in a river. That kind of looks like the one that we saw over there. It's a little bit different in shape, I'll admit. But I think that looks cool. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that's fine. That's more water. That's more suitable for a Baryonyx, shall we say. Okay, cool. So we should... They should be happy. Let's pop out 5 more Proceratosauruses. And then we need... I actually cannot remember off the top of my head. I did research it. I believe it's 4 Baryonyx that we need. I believe. But again, I'm not sure. Gonna have a cheeky little check. So you all stand by for helicopter arrival. Ow, ow, ow. Oh, 5. So they made 5 Baryonyx on Isla Nublar, which is where all the dinosaurs for Jurassic Park were made anyway. They were all made on Isla Nublar and then transported over to Isla Nublar. Yeah, exactly. It was actually meant to be apparently in Phase 1, so that's another good reason to include it within this build, just because it was meant to be there in Phase 1, which is kind of what we're basing our build on, Phase 1, a little bit. But it never made it in. It just didn't get transported to Isla Nublar in time before everything went to hell. So, I'm going to put some forest in here. I don't believe... I have looked into it. I don't see any suggestions as to what the Raptor Paddock or indeed the Baryonyx Paddock looks like, other than that it had a river. So I'm gonna play around that a little bit. I really like that. We're gonna have this open space on the right and there's dense forest on the left. I think that looks pretty cool. As for the back, oh, I've got to remember, I've got to put these in. I completely forgot. And maybe lights. Somebody suggested, I saw that recommendation. Lights on the surface roads and stuff like that. We'll do that. We'll do like a clean up, decorative episode at some point, or maybe we'll do like a small exhibit and then we'll do that. But it's Rex after this, so it's going to be the big one, really. Rex is going to take some work. Whilst I'm here, I'm waiting. Boop, boop. Not sure how the Rex is going to work. I'm going to try to build the ditch. We're going to try to make it match the film as much as possible, but it's a weird one. I think we all acknowledge that. Weird but beloved. Right. So, Gallimimus Exhibit done. This is the correct order, by the way. I had a few people sort of comment about it in the comment section. This is correct. I'm just going to go through it one more time. They walk past the tree. So when we first see Grant and the kids, you see them the camera facing them as they come up the hill, and the lone tree is behind them. They then walk forward. We don't see the log, but they must walk past it. They walk, and they walk sort of over here, and that's when they see the Gallimimus coming over the hill, and then they're flocking this way, and they run, they get to the log, they jump over the log, and they're like sitting here, and the angle's like this. So you see the log on the left, you see Grant and Nala over here, and the galleys are jumping over them. Then they go under the log, and they turn around to face this way. So they're still facing the same way they were running, but they've gone under the log to face it. That's where the lone tree would be. You don't actually see it, I don't believe, but it would be there. And the Rex breaks out from the right-hand side. So this is correct. There is actually... I did spot this. I'm wondering if I can do this subtly. Yeah, that'll do. There is actually a little... It's more like a bush than a tree, but there is a little one just there on the left side of the dip in the hill as well. So, there you go. How are we doing? Yes, Proceratosaurus, ready. I feel we've upped our accuracy quite a lot fairly recently. So we're going to do 5 Baryonyx. I need to think a little bit about what colour we want those to be. I'm going to give them a fish feeder, because why the hell not? Yeah? Yeah. I think they can be default. I don't think there's a reason to not. Because in theory, the ones from... when we never see the Jurassic Park Baryonyx, but the ones in Jurassic World are assumedly... I can check this. I mean, maybe it's similar? Yeah. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, based on the wiki, it is revealed that there are some surviving Baryonyx populations on Isla Nublar, so... Wait, how does that make sense? They were never on Isla Nublar. Oh, Jurassic Park, you're silly. But we can assume that the ones in Jurassic World would have been visually similar to the ones that were meant to be in Jurassic Park. So I think keeping it default is the logical way to do it. We're going to put in some forest, but we're going to go crazy. I want the river to be like this big. Actually, we're going to forest sort of around this back bit. At the end of the day, it's a Costa Rican island. There are definitely some big plain areas like over here, but there's a hell of a lot of forest as well. So I like that. That's going to make the river sort of stand out a little bit more. And we can put things in like rocks as well, especially on exhibits that... Maybe a big... I want the big tree. Where's my big... I'm going to use that. Screw it. There could be a big tree. We don't know. There could be a big tree. There's no way of knowing. And yeah, some rocks and stuff, because, you know, rocks exist. Oddly enough. I know it's surprising. But why not? We can't put numbers in the galley, but in the Raptor Paddock and in this one, basically the non-film paddocks, we can, you know, have a little fun with it, basically. Look how much fun we just had. Right, okay, let's tranquilize these, and then whilst we're waiting for that, we'll probably go do some of the sign posting. Did I not? What? Wait, have I done 15? Am I an idiot? Okay, we're doing 15. I completely didn't realise.
No problem.
I mean, that's fine. I was thinking a little bit that the Raptors should outnumber the should be outnumbered by the Proceratosaurus a little bit more than they were, so I guess that worked out. Yeah, let's go with that. Let's go with that was on purpose. 5 Baryonyx. That's a mental number to make live together. Don Hammond, you crazy, son. They're only small. Right, let's get some signs. So, again, you wouldn't have seen this, but we can assume it was there, because you don't see it in the film, you don't see the tour in the film, so I'm thinking over here. I really wish I could zoom in more. It's really weird, look. Right, that's there, which I like. And then if I go onto this, and grab the Parasaurolophus, it doesn't zoom me out, so I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm talking nonsense. I'm going to just put that one there. So as soon as you go through, you see the 2 dinosaurs. Okay, I need to move them, obviously. That's not cricket. But as soon as you go through, you'd see the 2 dinosaur signs. That makes sense. Stop tilting me. Seriously, just let me control the bloody camera. You big old nerd. There we go. Yeah, cool. So that one's there, the Dilophosaurus one. I believe... did we see the T-Rex one? I'm going to have to double check that. But either way, what we've got here. So that's going to be Proceratosaurus. Do we have a Proceratosaurus? No, so we have to use our small carnivore enclosure marker. Which is an absolute unit, by the way. Do we have a small one for that? No, we don't. They've only got big ones for those ones, don't we? Yeah. I was considering putting in the aviary. I know a few people have mentioned that, but the problem is it's a lack of space. There really isn't any room to add the aviary, if we're totally honest. There just isn't. This is one of the things that obviously the aviary is mentioned in the novel, but it's not on any of the maps, and it's not in the film. I think if we ever do an Isla Sauna, it actually might be the next thing we do, because I really want to mess around with the redwoods. Then we'll do the aviary. But until then, I don't think it makes sense. There is only so much we can... Look at that, how cool does that look? I want to hop in, I want to hop in, I want to hop in. Oh wait, I clicked the wrong thing, I clicked the wrong thing, I clicked the wrong thing. Come here! You can't, it's really annoying that you can't click the car and then go into that car. But hey ho, let's get some Gallimimus signs in here. Should be on the list, I assume. Yep, there we go. Let's put that there. Always tilted slightly. Just like me. Gallimimus, right. Yeah, no, cool. Happy with that. It's looking good. Oops.
Request acknowledged. Confirmed.
Ah, so many bloody Proceratosaurus. Okay.
Heading to collect the asset.
Baryonyx is getting there. Baryonyx Exhibit is, I'd say, essentially done. I might put a couple more trees down in this bit just because I like that idea, like having this sort of dark, shrouded looking sort of shebang, and then you come out into the light, and that's, you see the dinosaurs for the first time. I think that's a pretty cool idea, so I want to lean into that where I can.
Asset transported.
I don't want to populate this with too much. I think the Baryonyx Exhibit is fine. So we need to start looking at the raptor habitat, which is right here in the middle. Now we don't know anything about this, not really. It is called Raptor... I believe it was meant to be called Raptor Valley. So what I'm going to do is just thin the water out a little bit. And we're going to keep this very, very plain. It's a valley. So it should, I mean, really, we should drop it down, but then the water won't work. And the water is there according to map. What we can do is maybe sink this bit on the left down a little bit. And maybe raise up a little bit. Just give it a little bit of a... I know, when I think valley, I think sort of hills and fields and stuff like that, so I really don't want to put too much in here, just because it's a valley. I don't think of a valley as filled with trees. We'll dot some about, but generally speaking, I think we're going to leave that pretty blank. Do I have dinosaur combat off? I shouldn't, right? They'd have a bait feeder. But they have a yeah, they'd have a bait feeder. I'm going with 2 in. Check my settings. I don't think I've got any dinosaurs that would kill each other. Oh, wait, yeah, we do have that problem. Just because of social numbers, it might be okay. We'll see what happens, is what we're going to do. We're going to see what happens.
Asset transportation complete.
No, there's no carnivores and herbivores living together, so that should be okay. That's our last 3. Then we'll put the berries out. So let's finish off this raptor habitat. We're getting a lot done today, I gotta say. What's this little doohickey? Right, yeah, we need to leave that gap there, because on the in the film, in the Brachiosaurus habitat, that gap is there, basically. I'm gonna leave that valley bit over there clear. I'm gonna put some trees in there. Bearing in mind the back of this exhibit, this is T-Rex habitat, is going to be very, very tree filled, because the Rex exhibit was. So I don't want to have no trees, because then it'll just be bam. But it'll look very, very man-made and artificial, which is something we generally try to avoid. That's the same bloody rock. I just love that rock so much. I just instinctively go for it again. Give him a cheeky tree. Can't wait to use some. I think that'll do. I don't want to go too much further than that. We can have one area over here which is more foresty. Forest into there, but we'll sort that later. Like I said, that's going to be the Rex. I'm just trying to... it's a bit much. Yeah, something like that. Okay. Get these last ones transported over. That should be our pros done. I don't... Who's low health? Why are you low health?
Understood.
Eh? Eh? It must be... Oh, yeah. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. I'm not worried. I'm going to give them another feeder, because I am worried. There is 15 of them. They should have multiple feeders for sure. We're also going to put... I mean, I don't really want to worry too much about that now that I've started to do it, just because we're going to be getting rid of this and, you know, tons of stuff over here anyway, so we may as well wait to see what that looks like. Just want to get that final Proceratosaurus in the air and we can pop out our Barrys, and then we need to start popping out some Raptors as well. Now that'll do. And just because we've got dinosaur combat on, I think the Baryonyx will eat. Oh, they're going to fight each other. No, I can't have it on. I can't. It's not going to work. The Baryonyx will kill each other. The Raptors will maybe kill each other, but the Baryonyx will definitely kill each other. I think, right? I'm not crazy. I don't think I'm crazy. I'd love to be able to separate combat frequency and goat eating. Because it's not really combat in a way. They don't fight with the goat, although that would be really cool. I'd love to see that. On like the very small, like I know like the Compy, for example. And I believe the Troodon and the Proceratosaurus and the small carnivores can't eat the goat. But it'd be really cool if they could, but they had to like tussle with it a little bit. The Compy maybe not, you'd probably need pack hunting for that. But for the other two, yeah, I think they could square down with a goat and have a little fight with it before they kill it. That would be very, very cool. Bit of a unlikely situation, but it'd be awesome. Right, so we're going to get rid of those. And we'll just swap to normal feeders. Okay. Everyone else good? Everyone good? Gotta protect my sleeping Barrys whilst we transport them as well. Yeah? There? Yeah. Just making sure I don't drop it where my tour is gonna be running. What is your social stats? Yeah, 2. I didn't think we'd be able to have multiple Barrys living together safely if combat was on, so. Sorted. No worries, love, no worries. Come on, come on, come on. There we go. Right. Should be one more. There we go. Okay, now the final step for today. Having done 3 different habitats in one day, near enough, is the Velociraptors themselves. And again, what are we going to do for Velociraptor? Of course, we're going to use the default one. What else would we use? It's the 1993 pattern. I don't believe has any alternates. 1997 does, because most people don't, you don't really see it that much in the film, but if you look at the original models and stuff like that, you can see a little bit of a difference between the male and female. What we will also do is whichever one happens to be the alpha, and that will be somewhat random, like you just saw the 3rd Baryonyx was the alpha, despite them all having the same stats. Usually the one with the highest rating becomes the alpha, but when they're all identical, I don't know how it works it out, but it does somehow. We'll rename that one to the big one. I think we'll rename Rex to Rexy. I know some people hate Rexy. I'm not a big fan of it, like as a name, but at the end of the day, is she ever referred to as Rexy in the film? Actually, now that I think about it. I know. I mean, she's called Rexy. Interestingly enough, in the original storyboards, like the original storyboards for Jurassic Park, she's called Roberta.
Asset has been collected.
No. Rexy's just.
Transportation underway.
It's just a fan name, isn't it? It's just something. Did we call her Rexy? I think so. That makes me sad. Yeah, okay. Well, we're not renaming it then. This is not a fan edit. This is serious, accurate business. Or something. So there's our 5 Barrys all hopping along. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this is working out so far. Oh, yeah. I need to put some water. I keep forgetting to do this. I kind of want to look online to make sure I'm getting it accurate. but it is... Shrouded by what? Are you... Yeah, that's why. It is essentially just a blob of water. Kind of goes in front of the visitor center. It's not that thick, I don't think. I think it's a... It's very rectangular as well, so we're going to just bring those edges in a little bit. See, that goes too far on one side.
Delivery complete.
The angle's slightly off, isn't it? Ever so slightly. That's really going to annoy me. And then it's... I think there's like a little gap, and then the forest starts. Now, there is... As someone mentioned, they turn into the Jurassic Park gates, and that's not... I kind of want to make that straight, if possible. I'm going to leave it for now. Just because I put in the signs and it's going to annoy me. But I do want to make that probably a straight line, as it should be, because it is in the film. They just come straight at it. They don't go to it and turn into it. Someone did point that out, and that's very true, so... Oh, no, screw it. This will be easy to... We'll just do it. Okay, yeah. This is fine, this is fine. Just park gate, concrete tour track. What we're probably going to have to do, if we just delete that there, we're going to have to change up the style just a little bit. And we'll just go straight across there. Just make sure it's big enough, about there. And then we'll join in like we were. That should hopefully work. Reset this every time. Yeah, much better. Yeah, no problem. Right, Raptor time. Ein Raptor. Zwei Raptor? Vier Raptor. No, wait, no. Dry Raptor. Vier Raptor. Fünf. I realised I forgot 10 when I did my little German counting last time. It's not my speciality, let's be honest. But,
Ladies and gentlemen,
yeah.
we are pleased to welcome a Velociraptor to the park.
That better? Yeah, good stuff. Right, let's get those signs back in then for the Brachiosaurus. I'm just tilting them slightly because that's how we see the Dilophosaurus one. So I guess that makes sense to kind of recreate that, right? That's about right.
We are pleased to welcome a Velociraptor
Good
to
stuff.
the park.
Good stuff. Dilophosaurus one is done. Gallimimus one is done. Proceratosaurus one is done. Just need one for Barry at the moment. Good old Bazza, as he's known to his pals. There's probably not a Baryonyx marker, is it? I think it's only the dinosaurs from the first film plus the Pteranodon. Medium carnivore. Baryonyx medium? Yeah. Yeah. We'll just put that there. Because that should be just as you kind of come in and see them for the first time. You're not going to see them. You might get a glimpse of them. Yeah, this is more like a little standby bit before you get to the exhibit. I like it more there, I think. Right. We don't need one for the Raptors because you don't see them on the tour, so they wouldn't have a marker. I wonder what their plan was for that, because they have the Raptor Paddock, right? And now the reason the tour doesn't go through there is assumably because, like I say, because they wanted to... Because the Raptors were insane, essentially. But, assumably there was a plan at some point to open the Raptor Paddock to the public, so I guess maybe you would go like this instead. You'd curve through the Gallimimus, etc. But no, because the original tour actually goes down here to the bottom. That's the thing. There are multiple tour routes, so there may have been one, if you want like a danger one, or one that's scarier than maybe small children. Like maybe small children couldn't go through, say, the T-Rex paddock and the Velociraptor paddock, etc. Maybe there'd be an alternate route that would take them through the carnivores, and maybe there'd be another route that would avoid the carnivores and stuff like that. So you could have one that goes like this, like splits off here, and goes shoop, or one that comes down here for that and then curls around. You could do it. You just have to finagle slightly. Right, we need 3 more Velociraptors, and we are Denzel Washington. One day, one beautiful day, Denzel Washington will watch my videos and he'll be like, why is this guy saying Denzel Washington? And I don't have an answer to him. Denzel, if you're watching, I don't know. It's just the thing that I started doing. I heard it on something. I'm sure I heard it on something. I never invent anything from everything is stolen. So, anyways, I'm feeling good about this. I really am. We need some trees behind the visitor center. Like I said, I kind of want to the whole area is going to get redone a little bit. I want to put some lights down on the service roads and blah 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 blah. That is very slightly tilted, very slightly, and it's going to bug the bejeebus out of me. I can't live with it. I actually cannot live with it. It's upsetting me already.
Asset transportation in progress. Asset being
I'm going to have to get rid of some stuff.
Asset transportation underway.
Let's try that. It's just, it's pointing to the left very slightly. I can't handle, I just can't. What are you after? Oh, there's a cheeky tree there, isn't there? Ram. Now there's another one there. Ram. Love that noise. The sound details in Frontier games is one of the more underrated aspects, I would say. Okay. That should look a little bit better. I think I need to extend the water out slightly on this side now. They appear to have moved ever so slightly. That'll do, whatever. I don't want it to go that far though. I'll just bring it in on both sides because it doesn't go that far towards the Jurassic Park gates, obviously. I'll have to get another look at the visitor centre to make sure, but it's something like that. It's a little bit lacking in symmetry, but that's the view you want, you know, with the water there, and then I know there's like, I'm sure, again, I'm gonna have to go back and double check, but I'm sure there's like water lilies in the water. I think there's something in the water, so we'll stick some of those in there. Anywho, how are we doing? Right, we're just waiting on those final 3 raptors, and we are officially done. So let's go check everyone is happy with their new habitat. Just about to come round to the Baryonyx. I think that looks really cool. You can imagine this in Jurassic Park, can't you? I think I want another tree in there. I know I've got an obsession. I'm very aware. But I just think somewhere like there-ish. You want to get out of the way, buddy? I just think it looks a little too bare. I kind of want something over here as well. I'm just going to put one more tree there over the service road. Maybe we just need a little bit of grassland. Just got to avoid the service road, that's all. And we can even get a little cheeky. I mean, it kind of already does it by default. Usually put rock around the road, but I think dirt makes more sense. Yeah, happy with that. Looks nice. You can see that in Jurassic Park. Go down, there's your signpost. Chuka, 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 chuka. The official noise of Jurassic Park. Mine's very dry, there we go. Cheeky. Have I put all these in the right habitat? It really is the main thing I'm trying to focus on here.
Confirmed.
They're so pretty. I know we haven't spent a lot of time with our dinosaurs per se. It's different than when we're building other parks though, because this is much more about the design work directly. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy to sit here and stare at the raptors all day long. It is crazy that Raptor. I need to do an updated list. Remind me in the comments because I'll forget today. I'm having a few drinks later on, so there's no way I'm gonna. Oh, he's on the move. He's hustling and bustling. Oh, maybe we'll do drunk crime and carnage. Anyways, I need to bloody do another tier list of my dinosaurs because at the moment Velociraptor's like literally I think in the bottom 10 or close because I really dislike the old raptors, and part of it is not necessarily that the raptor is so bad that it's one of the worst 10 dinosaurs in the game, but it was more that compared to how it could look I was disappointed in it, but this one is absolutely bloody stunning, so I think he's definitely a top 5 dinosaur or so now. So I want to, reflect that. Raptor's worked hard, hit the gym, got some surgery, deserves to be recognised for his efforts, or her efforts, in the case of these raptors, I guess. That should be the last one there. Got 2 here. Come on, there we go. Now let's see if we can find the alpha. Oh, just sorry, yeah. Is it number 1? That would make sense. Oh, it's number 3. Again, same as the big... Wait, let me check this. The big one. No, Baryonyx is number 1. It was number 3, I think. Wait, why am I trying to rename the Baryonyx? Don't need to rename the Baryonyx. I wonder if that'll change. I'm going to keep an eye on that. What about for you guys? You actually got 2 because they're in separate packs. Gallimimus don't have an alpha. I can't see it on anyone else. Can we connect this, by the way? Probably. There's no path. Is there a path? There must be a path. Can we get outside of the visitor center? You'd think so. Right? What if I, like, do that? Kind of hide it in the tree line. Just so it's connected and I stop getting the bloody notification about it, basically. I can chuck a cheeky tree in front of it as well. So you don't see it as much. Again, I need to... I always know what things look like, blah, 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 but... if you're going for, like, direct accuracy, I really think you should have reference images when you're working with things, and that wasn't really my plan for today, so... right, so... done, basically. There's Raptor Valley. It's pretty chill. Where's my other feeder, by the way? Yes, good. I wanted it to be moderately split. You can see, again, these have 2 alphas because they're split into 2 groups. They will, possibly, when they meet, form into one bigger group, and they'll go back to having 1 alpha, so we may need to rename the big one later on. But yeah, Raptor Valley. I'm slightly tempted. It's not technically on their map. Got to remember, I've got to go redo all the fences. I keep forgetting about that. Like all the outside fences should be the no, not that one. Jesus, should be these ones instead. Shush. But I'm wondering if maybe for the T-Rex and the Velociraptors that they should, maybe even the Baryonyx, that they should also have the bigger fences for the outskirts. I don't think that's ever confirmed anywhere. It's on the map, but I do believe it's speculation, so... you know, at the end of the day, if something is only speculation, then we can also do our own speculation in a way that we think is the most logical, essentially. I don't really have a problem with that. Anyway, so next video, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to focus basically entirely on the Tyrannosaurus Rex. I think it's going to be quite a big project. We'll see what happens. Maybe we'll do the T-Rex and then a bit more general decorating for the park, but... yeah, we have raptors. You bred raptors. We did indeed, Mr. Alan Grant. We did indeed. Where's my alpha? She's leading the charge. Look at her. Da, 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 da. They are so good. They are so good. That view from the front as well, we just see the whites of the eyes at the side. Looks amazing. Yeah, I want to try to show you. I'll show you what I mean. I'll show you that right there. Because you can't see the pupils anymore. You just see the... I love that. That is terrifying stuff right there. Absolutely. Oh, I can't zoom inside your head. Wait, if what I can do is feel the view. Amazing. Right, thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you lovely folks in the next video. Let me know what you think about the Stegosaurus/Stegosaurus problem. I'm leaning towards Stegosaurus, like I said, because we are basing it more on the maps and the film than the novel necessarily. We could do a novel one down the line. We could do a novel Jurassic Park. I'm down for that. But for now, I think we're more map-based. I know I've made a couple novel references, but it's more like, if there's a reference to something in the novel that is not referenced anywhere else, then we can include it. But generally speaking, that's not really my focus. So let me know what you think anyway in the comments down below. I will see you lovely folks next time for some Tyrannosaurus... Wait, what goes in here? Am I going crazy? Wait, what? Oh, it's the T-Rex. Why am I being stupid? So that'll be our T-Rex exhibit right there. And then we've got to do Triceratops, Metriacanthosaurus, and then Dilophosaurus. I know a few people have mentioned they were disappointed there's no Dilo in here, but there isn't any in there in the film, so that's what we're basing on. We do have a second Dilophosaurus habitat, a big one over here, and we'll definitely be adding Dilophosaurus to that habitat. So do not fear, your beloved Dilos will be in the park. Until then, thank you for joining me. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and indeed if you're enjoying this series. I appreciate all the comments and support. I'll see you lovely folks next time. Cheers, much love as always. Bye-bye. Hey folks, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video or you want to help support me a little bit more, you can do so at patreon.com/bestinslot. There's a link in the description down below. Every little really does help in times like these, but it's not at all expected, and by just watching the video you've already helped me out massively, and it makes you a pretty cool person, so well done you. Thanks for joining me either way, I'll see you next time.